Alright, welcome back to the golf cart series. Today we have some exciting stuff coming for this thing. I'll show you in just a second. Today on the channel we're going to be installing a SGC 6-inch lift kit, and I also picked up a new steering rack for it. So we're going to jump right into it. I'll set you guys up front. You guys can watch me install this. Alright, I kind of got a head start. I went ahead and removed this whole front piece and my tires. So you start by removing your tie rod and your steering box. So I'm going to work on that. I believe these are 5/8, and then your bolts for your actual hubs are 3/4 and 11/16, and then these are 5/8. Somebody's been in here before me because there's bolts missing out of the freaking steering rack, which is not good. I'm gonna have to figure that out. And what else did I see? There was something else I saw. I can't remember. Oh yeah, the steering rack's completely loose. There's no cotter pins or nothing, so that's great. So I think I have cotter pins. Isn't a big deal, but I say it was probably pretty dangerous to drive, in my opinion. Nice. Well, I'm glad I have a new steering rack because this one's broke. I'll take this off first. Get this tie rod out of here. How am I gonna get that out? Or to use vice grips or something. Take a pair of channel locks and get on the bottom nut because this one's, it wouldn't want to come off. We got this loose, so I'm gonna take this nut out of the actual steering column, I guess, steering shaft, and remove this steering box. And that is a 14mm is what that one's. Make sure you keep your hardware because you don't want to lose that, because you'll have to put that back in. And then these should be 5/8, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So now you take these two bolts here, and there's 2 bolts here normally. Yeah. And that should, this whole steering rack should come off. And you want to retain the hardware for that. You have to put that back on. So we got that off. Put that somewhere safe. And now you take your you want to take that off very gently. Don't force it. Hammer's a plus. I forgot mine in the house, so we're gonna keep rolling with it. All right, we got steering rack loose. Now you want to take these bed nuts loose, which I believe is a 3/4. Drop it on there, Dibby. All right. Take 3/4 off. And retain your hardware for that also. Don't want to lose this because you're going to reuse it. And you go to put the new lift kit back on. Take that off, and this thing should just pop right out. And this hasn't been greased in years, it seems like, so that's good. Alright, we got that one off, and then we'll repeat that on the other side. Alright. Alright, there's a spacer nut in here. It goes on top. We gotta remember that. Just set that off to the side, and then next you can take off your, let's see, we'll go ahead and take these leaf spring bolts out. We'll drop that down. I believe these are 5/8 also. So. You want to make sure you retain all this hardware because you're going to reuse it. You got to keep these spacer plates too because they're going to go in there also. If you got this side out, you can go ahead and take the other side off. Alright, now when you get to this point, this bolt here, you got to remember where these washers go. And I just remembered there's washers that's supposed to be in here. So I'll have to figure that out. Alright, and this one's not a 5/8. This one's a 11/16 actually. And you just take that out, and you want to make sure you remember where these washers are and these spacers, because if you don't have them, it's not good. Like I don't. So I'll have to figure that out or order some or something. But I'm gonna go ahead and put this back together like this, just so I don't lose it. Alright, now you'll be able to take your 5/8 socket and take your shocks off. Shock bolts. I've seen these break off a lot, so I'm hoping mine won't break off. If I can even get this one loose. Jesus. Mercy. Try this one. This one moved a minute ago, so. Things are not coming off easy, that's for sure. Oh. God dang. Good Lord. Alright, so here's your old stuff. When you open the new SGC kit, you get a new tie rod, which is nice. You get this beefy bracket. This is your lift. It replaces that. See the difference? And this kit actually comes with a drop kit for your steering rack. So this will bolt onto here. You guys will see that here in a minute. And then your rear plates and your rear blocks. So I think we're ready to start installation now. Alright, we got Sis here to help us too. Alright, so this kit here. First we'll start with just the shocks. So you just set it up here like so. Line your holes up. Lower your shocks down in here. Which I do have new shocks on the way, but they're not here yet, and I was getting antsy trying to install this kit. So I went ahead and just did it. So it says you want to put your shocks on first. Start with that. If you guys are looking for this kit, actually, the SGC kit, my friends over at GOLFCARTSTUFF hooked me up with this one. They gave me a really good price. You guys should check them out. I'll put a link down in the description. You guys can use, I think, code FOLEY, and you can save about 10% or 5%. It's one of the two. That'll help you out a little bit at least. So we got that nut on. Dogs are freaking out. We got somebody walking by the house. Surprise, surprise. Alright. I'll get these put on and then we'll move on to the next step. Alright, now you want to start with, remember that bed bolt I told you about with the spacer that you wanted to save? The lawn bolt, it goes in this first hole here. So you just line it up, put it up through your washer. Just tighten it down. Alright, and that's 11/16. Alright, we had a phone malfunction. Like I said, this is your 11/16 here. You just want to get that nice and tight. Alright. And then we can start installing. Well, actually, you don't want to tighten that up. I lied. Sorry, guys. Get that loose. You want to put the rest of your hardware in before you tighten that up. So. Alright. Now, you can tighten it all up. There's a 5/8 socket and wrench. And this front one is a 11/16.
Are they both laying down over there?
On your steering rack, I just copied the measurement that was off that one, which I'm 99% sure that I have to adjust all that and find spacers. So you want to just set this in here like that on top of this, and then you can tighten that down, and your steering shaft should just pop right back on. And that's a 5/8 bolt there to hold that together. Alright, now that's the 14, sorry. Alright. And we'll tighten this 5/8 down for the actual steering rack. Which I said, I'm gonna have to find bolts and washers after today. I didn't even know those weren't on here, so. Try to just line it up as best as possible. Which I guarantee it's still gonna, well, I mean, it's pretty tight. Alright, there's that. That's installed. Now we just start putting the hose back on, I believe. It's very simple, really. I mean, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 12 bolts. ish. It's really not bad at all. And this kit does come with some new hardware for the stuff you add on. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw these hubs back. Alright, don't forget your washer on top. Like this. Like that. And then we got a washer nut on the bottom. And these are 3/4 once again. Alright, and we'll put the other side on here. Oh, don't forget your washer. I almost did. Alright, and now we should be able to tighten this up. Which is right here and right here. So 3/4 on the top and 3/4 nut. Perfect. Alright, so now we gotta grab the instructions here. I don't know exactly what to do with this. Alright. Alright. They give you a very detailed instructions. So alright, so we got new hardware here. Alright. Alright, figured it out. So you have two long bolts in here that are M12 by 50. And that's what you use to connect your drop bracket over here. Change this bolt on. Like so. I ended up taking a drill bit, because mine had a lot of like rust and buildup in there. I took a drill bit just a little bit bigger than the bolt, and now right up. So like we said before, this bolt's right here. So you put it right in the front, and then right in the back, and then tighten her up. All right, and that's a 3/4 as well. Shoot, I don't know if I'm gonna get that one. Nope. I wonder if I got a 3/4. Yeah, ratchet. Like that. All right. All right, now that that's tight, we can get this castle nut off your steering rack. And that should go right in there. Slide that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to readjust that. There we go. Okay. Get that tight. That's a 5/8 also. That's not even a 5/8. There it is. Alright. I lied. It is 11/16. Alright. Found it. We'll put it through this way so I can be easier to bend. Alright. That's installed. Now we gotta work on our tie rod. I'll get that put on, and then I'll show you guys the wheels and tires for this thing. Alright, got our tie rods all swapped over, and we'll go ahead and install these. They just bolt right on, and I'll do some adjusting. So once I get the wheels and tires on, I can do the adjusting on these. But it should be a 5/8 also.